Welcome to the virtual English class, my dear children. Today, let's do lesson 4 from Flamingo. This is an interesting story written by the Swedish author Selma Lagerlöf. The name of the story is The Rat Trap, and we are going to do this lesson in two parts. So, this is part 1. Now let's see some interesting facts about Selma Lagerlöf. Selma Lagerlöf, 1858 to 1940, was a Swedish writer whose stories have been translated into many languages. A universal theme runs through all of them, a belief that the essential goodness in a human being can be awakened through understanding and love. This story is set amidst the mines of Sweden, rich in iron ore, which figure large in the history and legends of that country. The story is told somewhat in the manner of a fairy tale. Children, you should also know that she is famous for her children's stories and she has the privilege of being the first Nobel laureate. Yes, children, she was the first lady to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. Main characters: Peddler, a seller of rat traps, also referred to as a vagabond or wanderer. Crofter, a poor farmer, a kind old man. Ironmaster, owner of Ramsdow Iron Mill. Edla Wilmanson, ironmaster's daughter. Master blacksmith and his companions. So these are the main characters in this story. The story begins. Once upon a time, there was a man who went around selling small rat traps of wire. He made them himself at odd moments from the material he got by begging in the stores or at the big farms. But even so, the business was not especially profitable, so he had to resort to both begging and petty thievery to keep body and soul together. Even so, his clothes were in rags, his cheeks were sunken, and hunger gleamed in his eyes. No one can imagine how sad and monotonous life can appear to such a vagabond who plods along the road left to his own meditations. But one day this man had fallen into a line of thought which really seemed to him entertaining. He had naturally been thinking of his rat traps when suddenly he was struck by the idea that the whole world about him, the whole world with all its lands and seas, its cities and villages, was nothing but a big rat trap. It had never existed for any other purpose than to set baits for people. It offered riches and joys, shelter and food, heat and clothing, exactly as the rat trap offered cheese and pork, and as soon as anyone let himself be tempted to touch the bait, it closed in on him, and then everything came to an end. Word meanings and explanation. The vagabond is a homeless wanderer. Keep body and soul together means to stay alive. Plod along the road is to walk slowly with heavy and dragged steps along the road. The peddler made a living selling rat traps of wire, and sometimes, because that money was not enough, he had to resort to begging and thievery. That is, he had to steal money from some places. He was homeless and he was lonely. The peddler's idea of the world being a rat trap. One day, he suddenly got an idea that the whole world was a big rat trap, just as the rat is attracted to the bait placed within the rat trap, that is the bait of cheese and pork and other such things. And then the rat enters the trap and is trapped inside the rat trap. Similarly, for men also get attracted to various things in this world and they are easily trapped. The story continues. The world had, of course, never been very kind to him, so it gave him unwanted joy to think ill of it in this way. It became a cherished pastime of his during many dreary ploddings to think of people he knew who had let themselves be caught in the dangerous snare, and of others who were still circling the bait. One dark evening, as he was trudging along the road, he caught sight of a little grey cottage by the roadside, and he knocked on the door to ask shelter for the night. Nor was he refused. Instead of the sour faces which ordinarily met him, the owner, who was an old man without wife or child, was happy to get someone to talk to in his loneliness. Immediately he put the porridge pot on the fire and gave him supper. Then he carved off such a big slice from his tobacco roll that it was enough both for the stranger's pipe and his own. Finally, he got out an old pack of cards and played jolls with his guest until bedtime. The story continues. The old man was just as generous with his confidences as with his porridge and tobacco. The guest was informed at once that in his days of prosperity his host had been a crofter at Ramsdow Iron Works and had worked on the land. Now that he was no longer able to do day labor, it was his cow which supported him.
Word meanings and explanations. Trudging, plodding, walk slowly with heavy steps, especially because of exhaustion. Sour faces, faces showing resentment, hatred, or anger. Confidences, secrets shared with a trust that it will not be passed on to others. Ironworks, a place where iron is smelted, that is, extracted from its ore by heating and melting, and where iron goods are made. Peddler enjoys the kind old crofter's hospitality. When the peddler knocked at his door, the crofter welcomed him and gave him a supper of porridge. Then he also gave him tobacco to smoke. The kind old crofter was a lonely man. He did not have a family, and so he was glad to have someone to talk to. Hence, he was friendly with the peddler. He played a game of cards, jolts, with him till bedtime. He also confided in him about his savings and showed him where he kept them.
The story continues. Yes, that Bossy was extraordinary. She could give milk for creamery every day, and the last month he had received all of 30 krona in payment. The stranger must have seemed incredulous, for that the old man got up and went to the window, took down a leather pouch which hung on a nail in the very window frame, and picked out three wrinkled 10 krona bills. These he held up before the eyes of his guest, nodding knowingly, and then stuffed them back into the pouch. The next day both men got up in good season. The crofter was in a hurry to milk his cow, and the other man probably thought that he should not stay in bed when the head of the house had gotten up. They left the cottage at the same time. The crofter locked the door and put the key in his pocket. The man with the rat trap said good-bye and thank you, and thereupon each went his own way. But half an hour later the rat trap peddler stood again before the door. He did not try to get in, however. He only went up to the window, smashed a pane, stuck his hand, and got hold of the pouch with 30 krona. He took the money and thrust it into his own pocket, and then he hung the leather pouch very carefully back in its place and went away. Word meanings and explanation of the previous slide. Creamery, selling of dairy products. Krona, Swedish currency. Incredulous, not wanting or not able to believe something. Now, in the last slide, we have seen how the crofter reposed a confidence in the peddler. That is, he told him all his secrets. The crofter, who used to work at the Ramsdow Iron Works and also on a small farmland, depended only on a cow to make his living as he was getting old and was not able to labor hard. He told the peddler that he had earned 30 krona in payment for the creamery. The peddler seemed incredulous, that is, he pretended not to believe what the crofter told him about having a lot of money with him. So the crofter took out the 30 krona bills from a leather pouch, that hung near the window frame and showed it to the peddler. The peddler steals Crofter's money. The next morning, after the peddler took leave of the crofter, he went back to the cottage, smashed a window pane, and stole the 30 kroner bills from the pouch, and left the place after putting the pouch back in its place and the money into his pocket. The story continues. As he walked along with the money in his pocket, he felt quite pleased with his smartness. He realized, of course, that at first he dared not continue on the public highway, but must turn off the road into the woods. During the first hours, this caused him no difficulty. Later in the day, it became worse, for it was a big and confusing forest which he had gotten into. He tried to be sure to walk in a different direction, but the paths twisted back and forth so strangely. He walked and walked without coming to the end of the wood, and finally he realized that he had only been walking around in the same part of the forest. All at once he recalled his thoughts about the world and the rat trap. Now his own turn had come. He had let himself be fooled by a bait and had been caught. The whole forest, with its trunks and branches, its thickets and fallen logs, closed in upon him like impenetrable prison, from which he could never escape.
Explanation. The peddler found himself trapped in a rat trap. The peddler realized that he himself had fallen into the trap. Since he had stolen the 30 kroner from the crofter, he realized that he might be caught if he walked along the highway. So he decided to walk through the woods. The forest path was twisted and winding and confusing. After walking for a long time, he suddenly realized that he was in the same part of the forest he was going round and round. Then he recalled his thoughts of the whole world being a rat trap. The woods, the trees, they were all closing in on him like an impenetrable prison. The 30 kroner bills were his bait. Now he was caught in a big rat trap. The story continues. It was late in December. Darkness was already descending over the forest. This increased the danger and increased also his gloom and despair. Finally, he saw no way out and he sank down on the ground, tired to death, thinking that his last moment had come. But just as he laid his head on the ground, he heard a sound, a hard, regular thumping. There was no doubt as to what that was. He raised himself. Those are the hammer strokes from an iron mill, he thought. There must be people nearby. He summoned all his strength, got up, and staggered in the direction of the sound. The ramps to ironworks, which are now closed down, were not so long ago a large plant with smelter, rolling mill, and forge. In the summer time, long lines of heavily loaded barges and scows slid down the canal, which led to a large inland lake, and in the winter time the roads near the mill were black from all the coal dust which sifted down from the big charcoal crates. During one of the long dark evenings just before Christmas, the master smith and his helper sat down in the dark forge near the furnace, waiting for the pig iron which had been put in the fire to be ready to put on the anvil. Every now and then one of them got up to stir the glowing mass with a long iron bar, returning in a few moments, dripping with perspiration, though, as was the custom, he wore nothing but a long shirt and a pair of wooden shoes. Word meanings and explanation from the previous slide. Smelting, extracting metal from its ore by heating and melting. Rolling mill, a factory for rolling metals out into sheets. Forge, a furnace for melting and refining metal. Barges, a long flat-bottomed boat for carrying freight, cargo and bulky goods. Word meanings continued. Scows, a flat-bottomed boat for transporting cargo to and from ships in harbor. Anvil, a heavy iron block with a flat top and concave sides on which metal can be hammered and shaped. Pig iron, crude iron, as first obtained from a smelting furnace in the form of blocks. So, as you can see here, this lesson is also helpful in another way. It teaches you all the terms relating to the iron mills, like right from extracting iron from the iron ore, smelting, and all the other processes up to pig iron being produced and how it is transported. So, these are the terms that you are learning along the way as you are reading the lesson, children. How the tired peddler's hopes were restored. The exhausted peddler fell to the ground, giving up his search for a shelter. He thought that his end was near. Just as he lay down on the ground, he heard the sound of the hammer strokes coming from the Ramstow ironworks. He gathered his strength and moved in the direction of the sound, hoping to find a shelter for the night. Word meanings and explanation. The Ramstow Ironworks. The peddler is totally exhausted and cold. He thinks that his last moment has come. He hears the sound of hammer and moves in its direction. He reaches Ramsdow Ironworks. He sees people working busily at the forge and he seeks permission to stay there for the night. The story continues. All the time, there were many sounds to be heard in the forge. The big bellows groaned and the burning coal cracked. The fire boy shoveled charcoal into the maw of the furnace with a great deal of clatter. Outside roared the waterfall, and a sharp north wind whipped the rain against the brick-tiled roof. It was probably on account of all this noise that the blacksmith did not notice that a man had opened the gate and entered the forge until he stood close up to the furnace. Surely it was nothing unusual for poor vagabonds without any better shelter for the night to be attracted to the forge by the glow of light which escaped through the sooty panes, and to come in to warm themselves in front of the fire. The blacksmith glanced only casually and indifferently at the intruder. He looked the way people of his type usually did, with a long beard, dirty, ragged, and with a bunch of rat traps dangling on his chest. He asked permission to stay, and the master blacksmith nodded a hearty consent without honoring him with a single word. Here are some meanings and explanation of the previous slide. Indifferently, having no particular interest or sympathy, unconcerned. Intruder, one who enters a place without permission or when not invited. Haughty, arrogantly superior. The blacksmith gives his consent. The iron mill was full of activity and filled with all kinds of sounds and noises. The coal was thrown into the furnace. People were all hard at work. However, the peddler was allowed to stay in the iron mill for the night. The story continues. The tramp did not say anything either. He had not come there to talk, but only to warm himself and sleep. In those days, the Ramstow iron mill was owned by a very prominent ironmaster whose greatest ambition was to ship out good iron to the market. He watched both night and day to see that the work was done as well as possible. And at this very moment, he came into the forge on one of his nightly rounds of inspection. Naturally, the first thing he saw was the tall ragamuffin who had eased his way so close to the furnace that the steam rose from his wet rags. The ironmaster did not follow the example of the blacksmiths, who had hardly deigned to look at the stranger. He walked close up to him, looked him over very carefully, then tore off his slouch hat to get a better view of his face. "But of course it is you, Nils Olaf," he said. "How you do look." The story continues. The man with the rat traps had never before seen the ironmaster at Ramstow and did not even know what his name was.
But it occurred to him that if the fine gentleman thought he was an old acquaintance, he might perhaps throw him a couple of kroner. Therefore, he did not want to undeceive him all at once. Yes, God knows, things have gone downhill with me, he said. You should not have resigned from the regiment, said the ironmaster. That was the mistake. If only I had still been in the service at the time, it never would have happened. Well, now of course you will come home with me. Word meanings and explanation. Ragamuffin, a person in ragged, dirty clothes. Deigned, do something that one considers to be beneath one's dignity. Slouch hat, hat bent downwards. The ironmaster invites the peddler to his house. The ironmaster visited the iron mill. He noticed the peddler and looked at him closely. He mistook the vagabond peddler for Captain Nils Olof, the captain of a regiment. The vagabond let the ironmaster believe so in the hope of getting some money from him. But to his dismay, the ironmaster persuaded him to go with him to his house. The story continues. To go along up to the manor house and be received by the owner like an old regimental comrade, that, however, did not please the tramp. No, I couldn't think of it, he said, looking quite alarmed. He thought of the 30 kroner. To go up to the manor house would be like throwing himself voluntarily into the lion's den. He only wanted a chance to sleep here in the forge and then sneak away as inconspicuously as possible. The ironmaster assumed that he felt embarrassed because of his miserable clothing. Please don't think that I have such a fine home that you cannot show yourself there, he said. Elizabeth is dead, as you may already have heard. My boys are abroad, and there is no one at home except my oldest daughter and myself. We were just saying that it was too bad we didn't have any company for Christmas. Now, come along with me and help us make the Christmas food disappear a little faster. But the stranger said no, and again no. And the ironmaster saw that he must give in. It looks as though Captain Von Stale preferred to stay with you tonight, Stenstrom, he said to the master blacksmith, and turned on his heel. But he laughed to himself as he went away, and the blacksmith, who knew him, understood very well that he had not said his last word. It was not more than half an hour before they heard the sound of carriage wheels outside the forge, and a new guest came in, but this time it was not the ironmaster. Word meanings and explanation inconspicuously without being noticed. Manor house, a mansion, the house of a lord and lands attached to it. Tramp, a person who travels on foot, a vagabond. Peddler turns down the invitation of the ironmaster. The ironmaster invited the peddler home for Christmas. The ironmaster sympathized with the peddler, mistaking him to be a regimental comrade, Captain Von Stale. Peddler declines the invitation because he had the stolen 30 kroner with him. He was afraid of being caught for the theft by the police. The ironmaster left the place chuckling to himself. Half an hour later, a new guest came in.
The story continues. He had sent his daughter, apparently hoping that she would have better powers of persuasion than he himself. She entered, followed by a valet carrying on his arm a big fur coat. She was not at all pretty, but seemed quite modest and shy. In the forge everything was just as it had been earlier in the evening. The master blacksmith and his apprentice still sat on their bench, and iron and charcoal still glowed in the furnace. The stranger had stretched himself out on the floor and lay with a piece of pig iron under his head and his hat pulled over his eyes. As soon as the young girl caught sight of him, she went up and lifted his hat. The man was evidently used to sleeping with one eye open. He jumped up abruptly and seemed quite frightened. "My name is Edla Wilmanson," said the young girl.
My father came home and said that you wanted to sleep here in the forge tonight, and then I asked permission to come and bring you home to us. I'm so sorry, Captain, that you're having such a hard time. She looked at him compassionately with her heavy eyes, and then she noticed that the man was afraid. Either he has stolen something or else he has escaped from jail, she thought, and added quickly, you may be sure, Captain, that you will be allowed to leave us just as freely as you came. Only please stay with us over Christmas Eve. She said this in such a friendly manner that the rat trap peddler must have felt confidence in her. It would never have occurred to me that you would bother with me yourself, miss, he said. I will come at once. He accepted the fur coat which the valet handed him with a deep bow, threw it over his rags, and followed the young lady out to the carriage without granting the astonished blacksmiths so much as a glance. But while he was riding up to the manor house, he had evil forebodings. Why the devil did I take the fellow's money? He thought.
Word meanings and explanation. Sleeping with one eye open. Sleep very lightly, being aware of what is happening around one. Valet, a personal attendant. Apprentice is a trainee learning under a skilled person. The kind Edla Wilmanson persuades the peddler. Edla Wilmanson was the daughter of the ironmaster. The peddler was sleeping near the furnace with his face covered with his hat. Edla requested him to go to their house with her, and the peddler had to agree because she had taken the pains to come all the way to invite him. Edla Wilmanson. She was the oldest daughter of the ironmaster. She was not pretty, but she was modest, shy, and compassionate. She was quite discerning and had a good understanding of human nature. So she could guess that he had stolen something or escaped from the jail. But that did not stop her from taking the peddler to her house. There was an inherent quality of kindness in her.
With this, we come to the end of part 1, and the story will continue in part 2, which will be published very soon. With many thanks, so long, J.R. Radhika from BNR Excellence Academy, Kharagpur.